Hey guys, this is Rattlesnake Joe here. Well, my real name's Joseph, but some people in the area have called me that recently. But truth is, I'm a snake wrangler who happens to be in the DFW area. And one thing I've noticed a lot is my equipment. I'm always trying to create something new, something better, such as some snake removers love using bags because it's softer on the snake. Me personally, I'm more concerned with my safety than I am whether the snake is comfortable. And so I don't like using bags. So I'm constantly trying to create something new. However, one thing in particular and very important to snake catchers, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there, is snake tongs because they work so much better than, well, these. We're not Steve Irwin guys. We all know it, and we ain't that crazy. Though we love the guy more than anything. Steve Irwin, we miss you. God bless you and his entire family. But one thing, snake hooks, yeah, they're good. They have their uses. If you're able to use a snake hook with no problems, props to you, bro. You're a pro. But if you're like me, I use snake hooks, but I don't really like them so much. They have their uses, but I prefer a good pair of snake tongs. Now, I've had several snake tongs throughout the years, and unfortunately, they're not all created equal. They aren't. There are cheap pieces of crap out there that I've had, and they've broken very easily, or the shafts bent very easily. So, over time, as my business finally started to take off a little bit, I'm still getting there, guys. We all are, especially after 2020. Good golly. But, in the end, I upgraded to some much better lifetime warranty snake tongs, and these worked very well. However, I started having issues with them. In other words, they started to break on me. Now, the company owner, which I won't say at the moment, he was pretty kind, he was a nice guy, and he would replace them because of lifetime warranty. And I would get them within 2 weeks' time. But recently, he stopped making contact with me, and his website's been down twice. And he stopped taking my emails. The last pair of snake tongs I got from him, well, they bent out of shape pretty badly. So it looks like I'm going to have to start looking elsewhere. Now, if you're like me, money is a big problem. Not all of us have all the money in the world or have that, 6-digit paying job. So I have to be very careful about what I get. So, my best friend, Amazon. Now, if you're also like me, who's into politics, you may not like Amazon all that much at the moment. But we're going to put that aside today. Now, I've got some things about snake tongs that I might want to let you know about. But one pair in particular caught my attention. And this pair was by a company. Now, let me see real quick because I have it on my computer right now. And it's a very odd name. Let's see here. It is called Ouronehome 47-inch snake tongs. Hey, they came up with the name, not me. And I found them. They were only $32 plus tax, and I got them in 2 days. But I noticed there was a few things different about it, and that's the reason I got them. And one thing I found is different is like, yeah, the blue. So original, right? But one thing I noticed was these handles. The angle was different. And quite frankly, I didn't know if I was going to like that or not. I've always had pistol grips. And pistol grips were good. I liked them. And they're more common. But this I saw and I was like, you know what? I want to try these out. And quite frankly, I have to say I am very impressed. I much prefer this angle than the pistol grip. They've done so much well for me. Now, one of the greatest marketing angles that they had was when you look on this side, you would see this piece right here. And what they're trying to tell me is that if I squeeze very tightly, I can lock this down and then, hey, it's not going to come back forward and look, it's in storage mode. Well, I really don't care. Quite frankly, that's kind of like, hey, I put a cherry on the top of your sundae. Don't really need it, but hey, nice little extra sell point. But other than that, the angle that I hold these at is a lot more comfortable and actually makes it a lot more easier to scoop up some snakes. So if you're out there looking for a pair of snake tongs, I highly recommend looking for one with that particular style. There are a few different companies out there. Another thing about this guy that I noticed that I normally do not get with my snake tongs is they're notched in the center, as you can see here. I've never gotten that for fear of, physically harming the snake hides. I really don't like doing that. But these ones seem to be tempered down a lot more, and I've actually had occasions where I've picked up snakes and they did not like being picked up. And these were mostly water snakes, non-venomous. The venomous snakes, for the most part, that I pick up, they don't fight very much. That's just my history. Now, with water moccasins, that's a difference. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, they do chase you. I talked to way too many people, way too many ranchers, way too many kids at the playgrounds, way too many adults, just too many people who have testimonies, including myself. Water moccasins are aggressive enough, they will chase you, at least for a little bit. But I've had it to where I've grabbed them and then they started spinning like a death roll on a crocodile. And I thought that was awfully strange. You'd figure they'd whip around like a whip, but instead they spun. And I was worried that that might hurt them in the end. So these notches, hopefully that means that they won't spin as much, or won't at least try because of the gripping. One thing I don't know if I like though, this hawk bill on here, it is incredibly deep. I'm not sure because most of the ones I get have a little less than half that length, but we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. Now, one thing about this particular pair of snake tongs are the things I don't like. Well, one of the things, it is extremely noisy. Now, the reason it is because if you see inside here, it is not the steel cables or the titanium steel cables that we're all used to seeing. This is actually a solid bar all the way down to the other end. And quite frankly, I prefer that. I've had occasions, especially with the industrial ones, they're much better made ones, that the steel cables rusted up and broke. They just broke, and the snake tongs were useless. I didn't have extra cable. I didn't have time to run things down because you're out there in the field. You're looking for snakes. You're trying to find that snake, and now you have a useless pair of snake tongs. It really sucks. So the fact that it's an iron bar in the center, much more props to it. I prefer that, but very noisy. Now, is that a negative effect? No, not really. See, snakes, they have ears, but they can't really hear. They only hear sounds so low that the human ear can't even pick it up. What is more prone to freak a snake out is actually vibration. And that's if I took a stick and started pounding it on a rock type thing, and they happen to be nearby and they could feel it. That's about the only thing that's really going to freak a snake out. Or if I got up behind a snake, and if you see on the crocodile hunt in all his past films, God rest him, he was my hero. Crocodile hunter Steve Irwin, we love you. God bless to his family. In fact, it's thanks to you, Steve Irwin, that I even got into snakes in the first place and have such a great love for animals. Yeah, I know you're looking in the back there, but that's because of my love and adoration for them. I can be a hunter and still love wildlife, guys. It is the truth. That's half the reason people become hunters, is because they love wildlife. But moving on. One of the things here is the noise, and, well, that's more going to be an annoyance to you, not to the snake. And it's not really going to scare the snakes off at all. And if you're using it for something other than snakes and you really need to be quiet, yeah, these probably aren't the snake tongs for you. In fact, you might want to go with the steel cable on that, because those ones tend to be a lot more quiet. Good news about these guys is they've got the nuts and they've got the Phillips heads on here. So I was able to adjust them and help take some of that noise out. But the one thing I do not like about this, I wish they would have made this a little wider to fit my grip a little better. But other than that, that's actually nice. But the one thing I don't like is actually the bar in the middle. No, I'm not talking about the color blue. But this is not stainless steel. This is actually an aluminum alloy, which is actually a step up from stainless steel. If you see a pair of snake tongs and say, this is stainless steel, stay the heck away from it. It's cheap junk. Don't get it. Aluminum alloy is much lighter, and it's a little bit sturdier than stainless steel, but it has a prone of rusting. So that's why you have the blue laminate on here. But, I'm not sure if you can see, but if you were to look way in there, which I don't think you can, this bar is extremely thin. And I do not like that, because one of the things I like to do, especially when looking for copperheads or rattlesnakes, water moccasins are generally more out in the open, but is I will use the tongs to scoop up under like tin roofs and flip them over. And I need a bar that can handle that. And quite frankly, I don't think this one will be able to do it. Now, the good news is, because these snake tongs go over on this end, and now they're riveted down. Now, that's easy fix. Take a drill to it. But because they go over and it's an easy take apart after that, I can actually replace this with something much better. But overall, if you're looking for a good pair of cheap snake tongs that actually will be comfortable to you and fits your budget, I do recommend the Ouronehome at 47 inches. Now, you can get these in the lightly longer, but I already got some take apart ones, so I didn't need those. But other than that, I'm going to give these guys a shot and see how they actually handle picking up snakes. But I've gone around and I picked up other snake-like objects and even some heavy boots and stuff like that, just to see how it would feel. And I actually really like this, and that's how I really know I like the handle. Maybe one day I'll create my own set of snake tongs and I'll market that. But anyway, guys, you guys stay safe out there in more ways than one, and have a love for wildlife.